He's not bad, actually. At night, I saw this parade. Everything was glowing.
What's up? Big news day today. Big news day today. Mike Tomlin out. I did a whole show on that last night after he lost. We were live. I'm going to put it in the monologue. Tomlin is out. Tomlin's a hell of a coach. He's lost 7 playoff games in a row. We're aware of that. He coached in 7 playoff games. Just getting to the playoffs, a lot of teams need that. I've always been a Tomlin fan. I think he's got the best microphone voice in all of sports. Better than anybody in the NBA, better than Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich. You don't even know half the NBA coaches. Every NFL coach is fired now. Tomlin's available. Raider Nation, you kind of got to make up your mind on Harbaugh and Tomlin. You're probably not going to get either one, but you got to make up your mind on which one you want. As my son jumps in there, he can tell me that too. We can put that in there. We can put that in the chat. Who do you want, Tomlin or Harbaugh? You're probably not going to get either one, but you better have an opinion on which guy would fit the Raiders. We have a little Dutch Brothers today. Anybody have any Dutch Brothers? He's turned on to a little Dutch bro. Dutch bro. Right here, a little Dutch Brothers. Hold on, let me get it. Little Dutch Brothers. There you go.
Off me go over.
All right. My son's busy booking me a hotel for Super Bowl, I hope, in San Francisco. Let's do this. Let's do this.
It's the JT the Brick Show. You know, we're going to have a lot of positive energy. The guys that love to compete and play with passion are going to have a chance in the place. Your Silver and Black home to sound off for over 25 years.
Man, I'm loving it, man. They're making my job tremendously easy to be out here with these young, talented players, man. I think we have a really good team. So I'm super excited. I'm already loving this fan base. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT, I'm ready to roll today, man. I did a whole show last night on Mike Tomlin. I was live last night after Tomlin lost. I'm ready. I already did this show 3 hours ago. Tomlin out. Breaking news, Mike Tomlin out with the Steelers. And don't talk yourself into something stupid. Tomlin's a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a coach. So is John Harbaugh. They're great coaches. They've won Super Bowls. John Madden won a Super Bowl. Tom Flores won 2. John Gruden won 1. Winning a Super Bowl makes you special. Tomlin's a hell of a coach. We got a lot to get to. Excited to be here today, man. Really excited to be here. Thanks to the stream we got going on YouTube, which is probably one of the cooler things we got going in all the media here. We don't got 40, 50, 80,000 subscribers, but we got real followers and real bricklayers who come in here and sound off like they got a pair. I'll go to YouTube, put on JT the Brick, and make some new internet friends. It's a very toxic world we're living out there. Very toxic when it comes to social media, and that's the focus of the monologue. Brought to you by Golden Entertainment. They own the Strat. Have you climbed to the top of the Strat? I know guys who climb. Clay, you know, they have that fireman challenge. They climb to the top of the Strat. Clay, have you been to Top of the World restaurant in the last couple of years? Have you been up there?
Yeah, it's majestic.
Microphone?
Yeah, it's majestic.
Yeah,
I love it up there.
It's gorgeous.
You bring a girl up there, you'll see Rose.
Oh, a girl up there. I got to take my wife to the Top of the World.
Bring a lady.
I was talking to a mutual friend of mine today who's great friends with you, and he said, he reminded me that you're a big Elvis guy.
Yeah, Dave and I,
Yeah.
and we had right around January 8th, which is Elvis's birthday, we commiserate for about an hour on the phone.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's
So
like for almost 30 years. That's crazy.
My mother-in-law had tickets to Elvis's show when on the tour he died, and she was getting ready to see Elvis, like millions of Americans when Elvis passed away. And whenever you go to the Westgate right here in Vegas, if you go into the Superbook, you see that Elvis statue right when you walk in. All right, here's what I want to talk about quickly. I want to get something out of the way. I want to get something out of the way, and then I want to dive into Mike Tomlin and what the Raiders are going to do. So when we do this YouTube feed, one of the reasons why we do it is we want to get some videos out of it. We call them shorts or reels. It's really the future of what's happening now. So yesterday, after the show, my son put out a couple of reels, and there were a couple of statements that I said, which I love. What I said, this came out of me, it was on video. So I have nothing to hide. Everything I say that gets clipped or gets said, I'm good with because it comes from me. So I want to share you the type of society that we live in today and what's happening in the world of social media. I put out something nice on Bob Weir. Didn't get much feedback. Bob Weir, a beautiful human being, peace and love, founder of the Grateful Dead, put out something cool, nothing. It's like I put it out there, got a couple of clicks on it. And then I put out 2 other reels. Here's the first one. Don't talk yourself out of the greatest things in life. I'm buying all the Fernando stock. So it was me saying, I love Fernando. I love him. Go get him. Don't talk yourself out of it. Could I have made that any clearer? I don't think I could have made it any clearer. So that has 5,700 views. I thought it was big. I thought it was going to get 100,000 views. JT the Brick loves Fernando. He's all in. He's a stockbroker. I made the stock analogy. Oh, but then I put out another one. Here's the other reel. The Raiders have an opportunity. The only way they pass on Mendoza is if they get an offer they can't refuse. If the Jets offer 4 first-round picks and a player and the Raiders move from 1 to 2, that's a real debate. I never said I wanted them to do that. Never said I want that to happen. Never said I hope they consider it. None of it. I actually said I wouldn't do that. That reel has 185,000 views, 200 comments, 50 retweets. And people yelling at me all night long, just yelling at me. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean a trade? I didn't say a trade. Watch the show. I do a monologue every day. It's the best monologue in sports. I said it. I do the best monologue in sports because I do 20 minutes, 25 minutes better than anybody. And it's not in a teleprompter and it's not scripted with fake bagels and coffee. I do this better than anybody, and most people can't do what I'm going to do for 25 minutes. They can't do it. They need like 6 other guys interrupting them. They can't do what I do every day from noon to 12:25. They can't do it. And you haven't noticed that they can't do it because you've been hypnotized like a zombie because you're watching shows now that have guys interrupt someone. Then a guy's giving an opinion. He gets interrupted by someone else. Then a guy's walking around with a corn costume and he's getting like corn thrown on his head and he's dressed like a duck. That's what you're used to now. You're used to this zombie idiocy of people just coming on there trying to get you to look. Everything I do, I look right at you and I talk to you. So I just wanted to share with you. I say, go get Fernando. Go get Fernando. I think it's great. It's like a stock. I wouldn't sell it. I'd buy as much Fernando stock as I can. Then I put something out that says, you know, the Raiders might get an offer they can't refuse. And if they do, that's a debate topic. Oh, blank you, JT the Brick. How would you want to get out? What? No, I didn't say that at all. Go read it. Go listen again. I'm all in on Fernando. Well, you were in on Geno Smith. No, I wasn't. Geno Smith got hired by my bosses at the Raiders to be the quarterback. I do the TV and radio for the team. I didn't say go get Geno. There's never a moment where I said go get Geno. Go get him. No, I said I'd go pick up Baker Mayfield. Remember that? Remember I said I'd go pick up Aaron Rodgers at the airport? Remember that? You remember that? Geno happened to be the quarterback. So did Geno. So did Gardner Minshew. I saw Gardner Minshew in Costa Mesa. He walked by me with a guitar on his back, a guitar. I said, oh, boy. Me and one of the executives of the Raiders are having a cigar in Costa Mesa, and Gardner Minshew walks by with a mustache and a guitar. I'm like, ooh, that's our quarterback. I didn't hire him. I had nothing to do with Gardner Minshew coming here, but I wanted him to win. He had the best 12 minutes of Raider football at quarterback that I've seen in 2 years. The best 12 minutes of football. Do you remember Minshew Mania in Baltimore beating Lamar Jackson? Remember that game in Baltimore? That was Minshew. We haven't played a down of quarterback since that play that was any good. And you don't think I want Mendoza? You're nuts. I want the best quarterback available every year. I want the best guy available. I want the best guy available. Period. Guy says, JT, actually, Mike Francesa does 5 hours by himself. No, he doesn't. He did a career with Dog. He's a great host. He's a legend. And he also takes 10 seconds to sip a Diet Coke. I don't take a breath. period. So I've done more hours, believe it or not, because I do 8 hours a day back in the day and do that. So when we get to the point that I want to say again, we are living in this world. We are living in this world now where everybody is cutting up reels. They're cutting up content. They're saying something and people are taking it out of context. Again, I'm getting 200,000 views on something that I said, if the Raiders get an offer that they can't refuse the offer, then we have something to debate. That's it. But before that, I said, I want to buy the stock of Fernando on the IPO, and I want to buy all the stock I can. And 10 minutes later, people are saying they're confused about what I said. What are you confused about? When have I ever done anything that you're confused with? You either think I'm a homer because I work for the team and I don't give you my paycheck and I light the torch, or you think I'm cutting edge and I got more opinions than anybody else out there. I know the business I'm in. I can handle either one of them. So when it comes to Fernando, we now own Fernando. We write Mendoza Monday. Every Monday, I'm going to lead with Mendoza until we draft him or we don't. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're not going to not draft him, right, Clay? I mean, you're pretty much the whole three amigos. I call you guys in the morning the three amigos. All three of the amigos on board with Fernando?
We are.
Okay,
We're
good.
taking that stock and holding it.
Okay. All right. Just double checking. You're going to buy the stock and hold it.
Yeah, we're going to hold.
So I just got to make sure. That we're sitting in a time and place now, where we're looking at this and we're kind of like not getting confused. I want you to come to me for the monologue every day. And if you listen for the whole 2 hours or you listen on delay, whatever you do, but I want you to know that every time I talk to you, and I'm gracious that you listen. I really appreciate that. You know that. I was a former caller. I live for radio. I really appreciate you. I could be hard. I could be gruff, but I love what you do for me and my family. I will never confuse you. I will tell you exactly what I think. And when I do it at a level of respect and dignity with the organization, and you have a problem with that, I could give an S. I could care less in the new year what you think. If you think I'm being too loyal, too classy, too dignified for a company I work for, I don't care. But I'm never going to confuse you on my opinions of what I think about sports, because I live the life of a sports fan. I travel and go to games. I grew up driving to Boston to see the Yankees and Red Sox, going to Eagle games with the Giants, standing in the black hole, hanging over the black hole with Rob Rivera. I've walked the walk and I talk the talk. So don't get confused when I say the Raiders are going to get a phone call from the Jets and be like, well, JT thinks they're going to trade out of the pick. No. I didn't say that. They're going to get a call. They're going to get a call, the Raiders, to trade the pick. You got to handle that in your own therapy session without me. I can't come to your home on draft day when they're getting calls and everybody's jumping in going, hey, the Raiders are on the clock. Oh, my God, people are calling. They're calling for Mendoza. They want Mendoza. We got him. We got him. We got him. Now, I'm not saying don't screw it up, because that would be disrespectful to the people that I work in the building with, Tom Brady and John Spytek. You're not going to hear my tone. Don't screw it up. Don't mess it up. They're going to do what they're going to do. But I think we know what's going to happen. And I've gone pretty hard for 2 days on this topic, and I am definitely pulling back. I thought it was cool talking to my son about this. Let's go balls out. Let's go in. Let's get some reels. Let's go big on Fernando just to get on that plane and do it. And then we're going to back off. Okay? We're going to back off a little bit. We're not going to do the Fernando memes. I'm not going to put on an ABBA costume. I'm not going to run around Allegiant Stadium dancing and doing all that. Not going to be me, but it's very entertaining when others do it. All right? So that's where we stand. Let's get to Mike Tomlin. So last night I'm on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM, and Tomlin's team gets blown out in the fourth quarter. Blown out. The score was 7-6. All they needed was another field goal to go up 9-7. C.J. Stroud was playing terrible. Aaron Rodgers gets sacked, and the ball comes out, and the game's over. That's what happened. It was a pretty close game. So when it comes to all of this happening, Mike Tomlin is now available. My opinion on Mike Tomlin is the same as I have on John Harbaugh. The same exact opinion. I think it would be worthy for the Raiders to sit down and talk to those two coaches and possibly offer one, if not both, the head coaching position. Because it would elevate the franchise to a level that the franchise hasn't been at since John Gruden moved the team when he came here with a Super Bowl ring. And that was going pretty good until Daniel Snyder and the scoundrels ripped through Bruce Allen's emails and blew us up with John Gruden. Okay? So I would talk to these guys. I'd get their opinion on football. I'd ask their opinion on the Raiders. I would go down that road and I would vet them because they're more than qualified for this job. More than qualified. And Pete Carroll was highly qualified for this job. That's why he got the job. If you're going to call John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin a retread, you sound pretty stupid. To call someone a retread who's got a Super Bowl like Mike McCarthy, I wouldn't call them retreads. I'd call them world champions. But if you don't want those guys for whatever reason, that's okay. Mike McCarthy is better equipped to lead the Raiders offense with a young quarterback because of the quarterbacks he's worked with. I don't think anybody would debate that. But a lot of people don't like Mike McCarthy's voice or coaching style. I've met Mike. We had a really good moment with my former mentor while he was dying, and Mike showed up, and I thought the world of him ever since. I don't think he's going to be the head coach of the Raiders. Is there a chance? Yeah. I don't know if it's 2%, 3%. I have no idea. Nor do I think that John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are going to be the coach of the Raiders either. I'm not saying they're going to be. But you got to talk to these guys. You got to talk to these guys and see what's going to happen. And again, with Tomlin's contract, it gets a little bit dicey via a trade. I said last night, I believe that Tomlin's going to do a year of TV. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to do a year of TV. And then he's going to come out and he's going to coach again. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong. I think that's what he should do. Tomlin is a fabulous, unbelievable TV opportunity. Unbelievable opportunity, man. When this guy speaks, do we have some Mike Tomlin, Clay? We do from last night. I mean, you listen to Tomlin in front of a microphone from last night. He just controls the room.
Again, when you don't get it done, words are cheap. It's about what you do or you don't do. And so I appreciate the question, but people talk too much in our business. You either do or you don't.
I like the way he's an authoritative guy at the microphone, a leader there. He's lost a lot of games. He's lost a lot of games in the playoffs, 7 in a row. That's hard to do. I mean, they put up the list last night of the coaches that have lost that many playoff games in a row. That is really hard to do, man. It is hard to lose that many games. And I think that's because quarterbacks, after Ben Roethlisberger, if you don't have Ben Roethlisberger and you're going into a playoff game and you're going up against a great quarterback like Lamar Jackson, or you're going up against Tom Brady, or you're going up against Peyton Manning or someone, it's hard. I thought the weakness of Tomlin is he couldn't win in New England. Well, he couldn't win against Brady and Belichick. Does that make him a bum? No. Here are the coaches with the most consecutive playoff losses. Number 1, Mike Tomlin, 7 consecutive. Number 2, former Raider coach and advisor, Marvin Lewis, 7. Marty Schottenheimer lost 6 in a row as a head coach in the playoffs, along with Jim Mora. Playoffs? Yeah, that's Jim Mora. And Steve Owen of the Giants lost 6 in a row from 1939 to 1950. And the reason I'm aware of that is my dad was born in 1939. And the Giants would go to the playoffs. And the New York Giants have won 4 NFL championships and 4 Super Bowls. That's 8 world championships for the Giants. So when you look at Tomlin, does he have some weaknesses with his head coaching style? Yeah, he doesn't coach the offense. He doesn't. Arthur Smith does, who was a head coach. Did you see Aaron Rodgers pointing fingers last night at Arthur Smith? I'll get to Aaron Rodgers in a little bit. But when you look at this and you look at these coaches, I don't want to say they're better than what we've had. We're going to go class again. We're going to go class. Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh were not better than Pete Carroll. What are we, nuts? Pete Carroll was a hell of a coach. Pete Carroll coached in 2 Super Bowls, won 1, right? Built up a brand in Seattle better than anybody. So if you had a problem with Pete Carroll, you're probably going to have a problem with John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. And that's unfortunate for Raider Nation when they think of John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. I talked to someone earlier today who said, you know, it'd be a really good look for the Raiders to interview both these guys. I go, what do you mean? It's a really good look. If they're going to interview 10 guys, including guys you've never heard of, which we're starting to learn about, some of the guys you've never heard of, it'd probably be a good idea to send a plane ticket or a jet to talk to John Harbaugh. I would assume that they're going to try to do that. I don't know if Mike Tomlin in this scenario with this contract status is all of this. But when I tell you all of this and everything that's happening here with the coach, I like what's going on right now over there at headquarters. They're interviewing everybody. They're interviewing everybody, which I love. Interview as many people as you want. Go out there, interview them all, get some good information, and come back and bring it to the. You got new owners that Mark Davis brought in, including Tom Brady. These new owners are pretty buttoned up guys. They're going to want to know who we're talking to. Let's all get everybody in here and talk. But you better be good at this because this is what we call musical chairs. All right. So there's 10 chairs, right? There's about 10 coaches and there's 8 jobs or 9 jobs. And if you want a certain coach, you better get him because everybody else wants that same coach. Now, I've leaned towards Clint Kubiak. I've leaned towards him. The problem is no one really has a lot to say about Clint Kubiak's personality and leadership traits, as in nobody. The only people that have anything to say about it, it's very general. It's very general. They're basically just saying, you know, he's really good at calling plays. He comes from a good coaching tree. But there's no one there saying, oh my God, he's a leader of men. He's this or that. If the Raiders hire him to be the head coach, and he's a great play caller with Mendoza, and he's got good coordinators with him and good coaches, yeah, he'll be able to address the team at the team meeting. He'll be able to lead the team. He'll be fine at that. But he might not be Mike Tomlin, who might be the best that I've seen in 20 years. I don't know if there's a better guy with a bigger voice who comes in and lets it rip. So Mike Tomlin being available today is nuts, along with John Harbaugh. And the fact that Mendoza looks to be coming to the Raiders, everybody is assuming that other coaches are going to want to coach here. I look at it differently. I think everybody wants to coach the Raiders. Everybody wants to coach the Raiders. Are you kidding me? Have you been to that facility? Have you lived in Vegas? Have you been to the restaurants? Have you been? You got an owner that writes checks more than any other owner out there? I mean, if you want to debate a culture change or not, I'm open to that. But don't buy into this propaganda from some members of the media that no one wants to coach the Raiders. Everyone wants to coach the Raiders. Everybody grew up. Anybody who's in their 30s, 40s, 50s grew up fascinated by Al Davis and the Raiders. And they're all fascinated by Las Vegas, and they all love the number 1 pick. Stop. Don't buy into that any of that garbage. So that's the monologue. Are we all clear? JT the Brick in third person wants Mendoza. I'd go all in. JT the Brick wants to interview 10 to 15 coaches and get the best coaching candidate, preferably a young offensive play caller. Did I leave anything out? Oh, the most important thing, the cap. Got to go spend most of the cap on the offensive line. A lot of it. You got to go spend a lot of the cap on the offensive line. I don't know how much that's going to be. It's going to be a lot. So before you start pumping your chest, telling everybody, oh, they're third in the league in cap. Oh, they got $100 million, Clay, in cap. We got $100 million in cap. Well, you're going to have to spend half of it on the O-line. So before you go shopping, Clay, for a wide receiver, and you need another defensive end because no one can play defensive end on this team other than Max, apparently, you're going to burn. You're going to burn like you go on a cruise ship and they give you some play money. You're going to burn through that play money on the offensive line pretty quick.
Might be more than 50%.
Yeah.
We're all going to have to be mindful of that. This is going to be like 60 to 65%. They do not come cheap, especially the high-quality guys, and there's not many of them out there.
That's 23 minutes uninterrupted. Okay, that's what we do. I love the monologue here because I control the monologue. Now it's your show. I've always said that. It's your show. You can call on anything you want. Any topic, any sport, anything you want. Anything you want. And I just give me the first 20, 25 minutes uninterrupted with sometimes we have a guest. And then I open up the phones and see who's there. 702-365-9200. As my son is in the chat, he reminds everybody. Everybody wants to talk to JT, but they don't know how to get to the torch. They just don't know how to get to the torch, I guess. Everybody wants to come on my Twitter, but they don't want to call the show. We get plenty of calls. We try to put good callers on the air. We're not here to just do like 5 minutes of how you been. Did you see the Golden Globes? What movie and cheeseburger do you like? We are trying to get our job done. We have a job here every day. It's fast-paced, adrenaline sports talk. It is not for everybody. And I love that. It isn't for anybody. I don't wear costumes. I don't have 6 co-hosts. It's me and thankfully Clay now to help out and do a great job producing, talking, and doing everything we're doing. So 702-365-9200. The great Alex Eshelman will join us momentarily from News 13, ABC 13. Clay, where I grew up, ABC was Channel 7. When I grew up in Long Island, New York was our TV. We had Channel 2, CBS. Channel 4 was NBC. Channel 7 was ABC.
Same as Detroit. And you had WABC, right?
We had WABC. And then, but we had something that you didn't have. We had WPIX.
Oh, that's the best channel.
We had Channel 11 that had the Yankees and Abbott and Costello.
And Bowery Boys on rainouts.
And Little Rascals. Yes. That was all on Channel 11. Google WPIX. It was great. So 702-365-9200. If you'd like to get in, if you want to talk to us, we would greatly appreciate that. Also, we love Volvo, Finley Volvo, Las Vegas, right at the 215 on Rainbow. Their luxury SUVs, hybrid, an electric vehicle, lease or buy, all the deals that Mike has. You need a new ride, go to Finley Volvo, Las Vegas.
Previously on Unnecessary Roughness.
All right. That was a good one, man. We're off and running. Let me fix my headset here, my raw headset, because no one has effing figured out how to stream a radio show through a board and stream it through a board with cameras from a board. So we do the JT Raw. Let's get in the chat. Let's see what's happening here. I saw some guy arguing with me about one guy does 5 hours every day, this and that. You can argue all you want. No one's done more hours than me, other than Christopher Mad Dog Russo. No one. No one's done more hours than me on radio. It's impossible to do more hours than I have on the radio. It's impossible. That would be 30 years. Some doing 8 hours a day, doing 2 shows a day with no co-host. Who do you know that has done that for 5 years? I've done it for 30. So we are a overnight truck driving, long haul radio show, man. We go down in history for doing more hours than anybody at night. That's a pretty good legacy, man. I'm good with that. Don't need any fake trophies or awards. It's good. Just put me on the radio, man, and keep me on the radio. But now I got a YouTube channel, man, where we need everybody to subscribe. Subscribe for free. Online at Grimaldi'sPizzeria.com. This is JT for the local 872, proud partners of Raider Nation Radio, led by Tommy White, building the city on time and on budget. Go to local872.com to find out about apprenticeships, career paths, all the public work zones, and the schedules that are happening here in our valley. I'm proud to be associated with the 872, proud partners of my show and Raider Nation Radio.
Man, I can't believe this mess I'm in. I don't know what to do. You need a great attorney. Yeah, but nothing. You can't do this alone. You need the Vegas lawyers. Hi, this is Paul Pata.
The chat doesn't want Salah. You don't want Robert Salah? The chat doesn't want Salah.
Defense issue. You're going to want the Vegas lawyers on your side. The Vegas lawyers, where compassion and strong legal representation come together. Check us out at thevegaslawyers.com or give us a call at 707-7000.
Out there in the West, they don't mess around. At Godden Ford, right off 215 and Rainbow, they've got the ride that's built to haul, crawl, and roll. The F-150, America's #1 truck with power you can feel. Want to rumble off-road? Get behind the wheel of the rugged Bronco.
Be careful. Some guys will power drive away subscribers for the wrong reasons. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't do the Dutch Brothers much, but I met a guy. We had a little sales quick call today, and I had to meet at Dutch Brothers.
22.
Ready to hit the road in a new ride? One Nevada credit union believes you're
All the coffee feels the same.
with a new
I got a coffee pot at home, an espresso coffee pod thing.
drive now and pay later.
There is one coffee company I will not support anymore. I don't need to get weird, but there is one coffee company that I will not support anymore. I will not give them my money
Check out the benefits
under
of
any
One Nevada Auto
circumstance.
Loans today at onenevada.org.
Joe says, who do I want as the coach, JT? I would like Clint Kubiak,
Really
Mike Tomlin, or John Harbaugh. How's that sound? Clint Kubiak,
You.
Mike Tomlin, or John Harbaugh, or
curse at me.
I'm open to Kevin Stefanski
CDL training.
because Kevin Stefanski could be the guy to get Mendoza going. I'm open to that.
Okay, I'm listening.
Truck You offers small.
I like the
loans,
hire from
90
Michigan,
times
the
available.
Winningham. I think he's a good character guy.
Programs. Check them out. Truck, the letter U, LV.com. Truck You.
This winter, earn cool cash for
What do I think of Davis Webb? Like everybody, I don't know anything about Davis Webb, other than he's an up-and-comer in the Denver organization. He seems to be a savant, like a couple of those Ram guys that I tweeted out today that cut up tape, and they're savants.
You can earn even more winter rewards points for.
Would I trade for Tomlin? I'd consider trading for Tomlin. I would. I would consider that, yeah.
Opt in to enroll in winter rewards. To see participating locations.
The money's not a problem for Harbaugh. Mark Davis pays for coaches. That's not a problem.
Call 1-800-522-4700.
The College Football Playoff National Championship. The magical run by the 10th-ranked Miami Hurricanes continues. No bad play, no bad call, no injury that we can't overcome, and they faced a top-ranked and undefeated.
No one on hold today. You know what? I'm starting to realize that I just might not be a likable guy to call every morning or afternoon
It's Monday at 6.
because I don't want to have small talk. I think you get more calls if you do more small talk. I'm not in a small talk effing mood today. I think I want to do like 8 hours today by myself and no one else. I got 3 hours tonight. I got an hour and a half today. I'm just going to rip the effing roof off. I'm in one of those moods today.
Brewed with fighting spirit since 1925.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by M Resort Spa and Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Fourth and 5, Rodgers looks it over. Here's the snap. Rodgers in the pocket. Rodgers swinging it downfield. It's picked off at the 50. Bullock to his left, 40, 35, 30. Bullock, 20. Bullock upended at the sideline, maintains his balance, and runs for pay dirt.
And it's that game affect your decision for what to do next year.
No, I mean, I'm not going to make any emotional decisions. Disappointed, obviously, it's such a fun year, a lot of adversity, but a lot of fun. Been a great year, overall in my life in the last year. And this is, a really good part of that, coming here and being a part of this team. So it's disappointing to be sitting here with the season over.
We didn't do enough on possession down ball to get things going, any sort of rhythm or real points and so forth. And I thought that they did a real good job on third down, and we didn't get off enough on defense, and particularly as the game wore on, it became an attrition component of it. And so, it's disappointing, but I'm certainly thankful for this group and their efforts. But it's a disappointing night tonight.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is really disappointing for any team that loses in the first round of the playoffs and go through a year and they don't win a playoff game. We've been here with the Raiders twice with Derek Carr, the time he broke his leg in Oakland and the time that Derek Carr got here, we lost to Cincinnati. In Vegas, the Raiders made the playoffs in Vegas, knocked out the Chargers, but lost at Cincinnati because at first and goal at the 9, we didn't throw 4 balls in the end zone. Let me repeat that because I go nuts over it. We didn't throw the ball in the end zone on the 9-yard line. We checked down, and we couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So that's old news. Alex Eshelman, great to wish her a happy new year. Exciting time to be in Vegas. The Raiders are looking for a head coach, and they have the number 1 pick. That's going to keep you busy, Alex. How are you?
JT, first of all, Happy New Year to you. I know it's like a few days late to say that, but you know what? This is the first time I've chatted with you since 2025. So Happy New Year, and thank you as always for having me on your show. Yeah, we're here again searching for a new head coach, and I feel like this is arguably the most exciting search in comparison to recent years, just because I feel like the Raiders really have the pick of the litter. Especially with the Mike Tomlin news coming out today. It's really just kind of endless opportunities here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you got to interview everybody. You got to talk to everybody. Mike Tomlin requires a trade. He's still under contract. I think he resigned to take some time off and do some TV. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens there. But John Harbaugh is completely available, and he's starting to take calls, and he had an interview in Atlanta. I think it's important to sit down with John Harbaugh because we all know what John Harbaugh can do, and we know what some of these other coaches can do, but there's a lot of young coaches like Clint Kubiak and some of the other guys that are out there are not proven, but I think they deserve an interview and maybe a second interview to see if they can blow away Tom Brady and John Spytek and maybe impress them.
It was really interesting, JT. I was actually at the George a few days ago for Wild Card Weekend. I was working and I was interviewing a handful of NFL fans. There were also some Raider fans there. And everyone immediately, when I asked them, who do you think should take over as head coach? And obviously everyone knows who John Harbaugh is. In comparison to those new and up and coming names like a Davis Webb, like you mentioned. But I do think it is interesting that you've got John Harbaugh versus the new and up and comer guys. What are your thoughts on going with a guy who is, I don't want to compare John Harbaugh to Pete Carroll, but kind of that type of guy. Again, this is a new and up and coming.
You make a great point. John Harbaugh is Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is John Harbaugh. Pete Carroll is just a lot older, not that much older, but older than John Harbaugh. You're taking a Super Bowl champion coach, trying to bring his style of practice, and Pete's style of practice was great. No one had a problem with what he did with competition and all that. It just didn't work. He didn't have the players. My only concern, Alex, is that the Raiders look like they're closer to a rebuild. I don't use the term rebuild. I like to reload. But if you're a coach like John Harbaugh, you might look at this and say the Raiders are 2 or 3 years away. Even with Mendoza at the number 1 pick, I don't want to rebuild for 2 years and not go to the playoffs. I want to go right to the playoffs and maybe take a better roster. But to answer your question, I like the young up-and-coming play caller because it's worked with Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay with the Rams. And I think Clint Kubiak, because his dad, Gary Kubiak, was a highly respected coach and play caller, and the connection to John Elway and where Kubiak is coached, and now he's in Seattle, and Seattle's running the ball, and Sam Darnold's playing well. I want him to get the full vetted opportunity of multiple interviews here to see if Tom Brady and him and Spytek can hit on the same page.
I mentioned it, JT, at the very beginning of our conversation, but I said that it feels like this is one of the more exciting head coaching searches that the Raiders have had in recent years. And I know you've covered the Raiders for a long, long time. Would you agree? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is. I think this truly is a different time. It's a unique time because of social media of Las Vegas, the sports and entertainment capital of the world. There's just more. Amazon, Netflix are in sports now. They weren't in the past. The Raiders have an opportunity, Alex, to own the next 4 months. Okay, from January through the Super Bowl up until April into the draft. The Raider brand can be out there, but they got to nail it. And I want to move to Mendoza because I know you'll be on assignment when we get closer to the draft. And if it turns out he's the number one pick overall, that would be pretty impressive as you've seen his character. And how impressive has Mendoza been in the postseason? The guy's got more touchdowns than incompletions. I mean, this is rare what he's doing.
It is unbelievable. And my dad actually went to Oregon, JT. He played golf there, grew up in Salem, Oregon. And so I grew up a Ducks fan, and I'm not going to lie, I was respectfully rooting against Mendoza in that semifinal game, but it was pretty clear as to who. I mean, I know that it was kind of a conversation between Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza as to who would maybe be kind of the projected for sure first overall pick, but Fernando Mendoza, gosh, just blew everybody away. And he's been doing that all season long, but even in that most recent game, it wasn't even really a competition when you watch, all four quarters. And you mentioned it, but God, what a reporter's, he's a reporter's dream.
Yeah.
Soundbite, the way he speaks, what he does for not only his mom, but for communities. And I also love this, and I don't know if this is for confirmed, but I think it is, that Tom Brady is his idol.
Yep, he is. Yeah.
I mean, what could be more perfect? I'm rooting for him no matter where he goes, but he's definitely, from a media standpoint, he would be a dream to interview because the sound bites are just incredible.
All right. Well, good to talk to you. UNLV basketball, Josh Pastner, UNLV Lady Rebel basketball. Coach LaRocca is always a good story. The Vegas Golden Knights, the rodeo's out of town. I know you were doing a lot of live hits for that. What's on your calendar? How does January look for you as the sports landscape connects through ABC 13?
Well, even though the Raiders are going through a coaching change, JT, fortunately for us, I mean, this is a really exciting time to cover this new rebuild of the Las Vegas Raiders. So we'll be on that today. Had a really great day at City National Arena with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Wow.
Was able to do a one-on-one interview with Jack Eichel about what it means to play for Team USA, and he was incredible. So that'll be coming out in a little bit. We went to Running Rebels practice yesterday, and they're coming off of a kind of a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, they won 3 and then lost 2. They're back at home to host Boise tonight, so big game for them. Hopefully they can pull out a win. Lady Rebels, Lindy LaRocque, what could you not like about that team? I mean, she's amazing. Vegas is lucky to have her, especially because she's a Vegas native and very proud of that. So really just dipping into the winter sports scene, JT, plus Raiders rebuild.
You said your dad was a college golfer. Does that mean you're a good stick? Can you hit a drive 250 yards? Do you have a short game where you can get up and down from the bunker? What's your game like?
It's funny, JT, because when my sister and I were little, my dad would take us to a local country club that my parents were a part of, and we would do putting contests. And it was for $5, and it might as well have been the biggest day of our entire lives. So I'm not going to brag, but did I win that competition maybe once or twice more than my younger sister? Yes.
Okay. All right.
I know I was a decent golfer. Yeah, I play in the ESPN event every year.
I play.
I know you play a handful.
Yeah, I play at events that I get invited to. That's an inside joke.
You're invited to all the
thank
events,
you. So please keep the invites coming, and I will be out there if it's not noon to 2. Happy New Year. Good to talk to you. We'll do it on Tuesday. These work for you, right? In this every couple of weeks. And if there's breaking news, let us know. We'll put you right up.
JT, one of these days we'll do the show and play around. How about that?
Sounds great. On me. There she is, everybody. Alex Eshelman, ABC 13. Fantastic insider to our show. So what we're doing here is I like to give our insiders a break. They come on, and we do a nice job with the grid. We put them out, Crowley and the grid, like you do in your morning show. And, you want to give everybody a break, but this might not be the year for the break with Mendoza Mondays and everything we got going. This might kind of be, hey, we'll throw you a bone. Come on a little bit more. Are you sensing that?
Sometimes when you're in this business, you wait until July. You know what I mean? Like that's when the breaks start happening because everything goes on because all the way until the draft, then you got the NFL schedule and then rookie mini camps. So the breaks, you got to find a way in a certain amount of time every now and then.
Look, man, I think people have much tougher lives and jobs than I do. I never take your job for granted out there in the real world. It's a lot harder than mine. But I need a break. After Super Bowl, timeout, JT. This last year was insanity. The triples, the doubles, the triples, the games, the losses. We need a light little break. A little bit of a break. Where I will have Modelo's on a beach somewhere. Alex was brought to you by Modelo, proud partner of our show. I have a bucket of Modelo's on Friday, even in the off season. Modelo, proud partner of our show. We got a great guest coming up who knows NIL as good as anybody, knows talent in college football better than anybody. Yogi Roth. Yogi Roth is a great name in college football. And the job that he does at the Senior Bowl is incredible. So we got Yogi Roth coming up at 1:30, and he's going to do a deep dive on Mendoza. So you're going to hear from one of the experts who knows, when I say he knows everybody, no, everybody knows him. So he's going to join us on Mendoza. Big D said we need a Mendoza Modelo special. Can we get Steve Gomez on that, please? Can someone shine the Steve Gomez Modelo light? Get some imaging here on Mendoza Modelo Monday. Maybe we need to do that. Modelo Mendoza Monday, but I don't know if Mendoza drinks Modelo. I don't know if he's doesn't drink at all. So I won't put the kid in that position. He's a kid. All right, when we come back, we got Mike in Hawaii. Let's get Mike in Hawaii. Mike, I don't want you to wait there. Go ahead. You're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, aloha, JT. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to follow up from my call on Friday when I was saying Mendoza was going to kill it, which he did. And I just wanted to say one thing. Yesterday, you were talking about how Mendoza was going to get a lot of heat. A lot of people were going to get very
personal
on him. And I just feel it got even worse when the Raiders got the number one pick, because before the Raiders had the pick, Mendoza's so great, he's going to go to the Jets, the Giants will trade the pick, and it's just more of the stuff with the Raiders. We're used to it, so it's okay. But, I would like to say this. I think Mendoza, if anything, he's underrated. He's not overrated. I have not seen a game where somebody was that accurate. I mean, even I was watching the Bears. I love Caleb Williams. And, he was missing on some throws. I know it's cold weather. But, I mean, in that game with Mendoza, everything was exactly where it needed to be. I mean, I was floored. And then, not only that, but sometimes when he would get pressured in the pocket, if no one was open, the way he would run, and he would get outside and do some of these runs. And I'm just thinking, we definitely got lucky this year. I mean, I think Mendoza is a great person to have there for number one. We have the number one pick this year. I'm not looking to trade the pick this year. We can always kick the can. We can always say this or that. People say, I want Arch Manning next year. But you know what? I didn't see Arch Manning play a game as good as Mendoza did this last game. So I think we just need to do the smart thing. Just take him.
Yeah.
We can build the team around him. And real quick, you were saying yesterday, about trading up and getting an O-lineman. That's something I've actually been talking about for a while. Yeah. I would take Mendoza number one. I wouldn't trade any of next year's pick because it's going to be a great draft. But with all the picks we have, we pick almost in the first round or second round, right? Yeah. I would try to go up a little bit. There's a couple really good Polynesian linemen I've been scouting. I don't think Maui Goa is going to be there. I think he's going to go top half.
Yeah, he's gone.
But there's another guy from Penn State. You probably know him, Vega Ioane. And he is amazing. And if the Raiders he's lingering around there around 20, whatever the Raiders could do, I would trade up with our second round picks, throw a 3 and a 4 in there if you got it, whatever. And this offseason, I would do exactly what you said. Trade up, try to get that old lineman in the back of the first. There's another guy I really like, is Pong. He's been moving up draft. cornerback from Indiana. I mean, you can't take everybody, right? But I would really try to get that O lineman. That's our focus our off season this year on
Okay.
offense.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You got to wrap it up. Remember, every call, beginning, middle, and end. You made good points on the offensive line because the offensive lines, when they go, they're going to go. Trevor Dusby, the offensive tackle out of Texas, is junior eligible. Spencer Fano out of Utah. Everybody seems to love him. All the Malgoa out of Miami, you'll get a chance to see him. He's junior eligible. I think you're going to see 4, maybe 5 offensive linemen, but most likely 4 coming out in the first round. And if the Raiders love one of them, go get him. Go trade up and get him. All right, we'll wrap up this hour on the other side here. If you want to get through, great time to do it. We'll have sound from Jay Glazer on Tom Brady and the Allura coming to Vegas if you're the top pick. Hear that. And then hour number 2, Yogi Roth will join us from the Senior Bowl as we'll go through some of the quarterback talent. I'm going to keep it real simple because we know Mendoza probably going to be the number 1 pick. And I'm comfortable saying that. Mendoza will probably, most likely, be the number 1 pick in the draft.
It's official like a referee's whistle. Denny's is now open at Silver Sevens Hotel and Casino. Your diner favorites are here. And yes, you could use your casino points. Pancakes at midnight, burgers at dawn, coffee whenever. Denny's is open 24/7. No breaks, no excuses. Eat what you want, when you want, and keep the night going. Located just 1 mile from the Las Vegas Strip, Silver Sevens offers slots, table games, and a lively sports book. The new Denny's is now open inside Silver Sevens for food and fun.
This is JT the Brick from Raider Nation Radio for MROD, the preferred shuttle provider of Allegiant Stadium.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Your favorite events.
All right, let's talk to the chat. Everybody hit subscribe. Everybody hit like, please. Subscribe and like. Now, every day we should be gaining about 100 people here, not 10. We need about 100 people a day, new subscribers. Appreciate everybody helping us with that. Hello, Joanna Ochoa, 4673. Hello. Kenny Clark. I would choose Kubiak before Davis Webb, but I don't know enough about Davis Webb. You know?
Anything into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which lakes and rivers.
Yes, the subscriber list has been growing. It has. We got really good subscribers, man. Got good people.
Secure your trash and bins. Like fertilizer sparingly. Avoid sprinkler.
I saw this new show on Netflix about November 22nd, 1963. It's a show where James Franco, Clay, goes back in time to stop the assassination of Kennedy. Well, it's a really weird first episode. It's Chris Cooper, you know, the Academy Award-winning actor. He's a guy who has a diner, and in the diner's closet, if you go in the closet, you get put back to 1960. Well, you could be there 3, 4, 5 years and come back, and you're only gone for 2 minutes of your life in the real world.
Okay.
But you got to spend the total 3 or 4 years there. So I like James Franco. I think he's a very good actor, man. He's a producer.
That's a good thing. I mean, you got to, in order to trace that potential conspiracy to kill the president, you got to weave your way around. You know, you got to find, maybe even spend the summer of '63 in New Orleans with Oswald. Let's come back here.
All right. The stock market is down 450 points today. No bueno. No bueno.
Just whiskey selections in the valley with live local entertainment 7 nights a week.
Blood this morning, Mikey. Oh, I agree. Let's go to Mikey in Manhattan first, please.
Come back to the Texas Sunshine.
Call 702-222-9999.
Rodgers tapping his gut, takes the snap. Rodgers, pocket collapsing. Rodgers is going to go down, and the ball is out. Who's got it? Rankins picks it up. He's on the move. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Sheldon Rankins. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll there. Let's get some music up. Yes. Yes. JT, back with you. Incredible day today. Why is it incredible? Because Mike Tomlin is out. Mike Tomlin is out in Pittsburgh. I don't think he should be out, but I think this is the way you should be out. Resign. You're out. That's the way I thought Pete Carroll should be out. Don't fire Pete. Let Pete resign. I don't know the ins and outs of Pete. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. I haven't got a call from the coach yet. I'd like to call the coach and thank him for sitting in with me with all those interviews. I've been doing that a lot lately. I haven't talked to Antonio Pierce other than one time since he was let go. These relationships come to an end. They're really important to me. I'm sure Mike Tomlin's leaving a lot of relationships in the building in Pittsburgh. No doubt about it, a lot. Mike in Staten, Italy. What's going on, Mikey? How are you?
Hey, JT. Finally, the Raiders and the New York Jets, we're finally catching a break. Never thought in a million years you would have the quality coaches that are out there. Not long shots, not guys at the end of their road. You got guys that been around, know the thing. And with the Raiders and the New York Jets, let's say the Raiders, they're the number 2 team, I think, a coach wants to coach. Great ownership, great franchises, great facility, the number 1 pick, a difference maker on defense. I still think a difference maker as running back. With everything there, I personally would rather see Harbaugh over here than Tomlin. But you said it the best, JT, and you alerted me to this. It's not about the coaches anymore, the head coach. He has to be able to put together a good backup, with his assistant. And I believe that these 2 coaches not only come here change the atmosphere, get everybody playing hard. Not the rah-rah, X's and O's been there. But I think the Raiders with Mendoza, he looked amazing. Let's make sure he comes out of it healthy. Let's get there. Let's get one of the 2 big. I want one of the 2 big coaches.
Hey, Mikey, what would you? Hey, Mikey, you got Aaron Glenn. You didn't fire Aaron Glenn. Let me remind you. You don't got anything. You didn't fire Aaron Glenn. Number 2, what would the Jets? You're listening to New York Sports Talk. What would the Jets give up for Mendoza? Because we ain't giving them up. But what would the Jets do? 3 first-rounders? Would they do 3 and a player? They got to get Mendoza. The Jets are dying to get Mendoza. We're not giving him to you, but what would the Jets give up?
Well, exactly right. Especially with this guy Moore not coming out, JT. They're what from Rick Danini, who's the insider for the Jets, saying 3 number 1, 2 this year and 2 picks this year and 1 next year. That's how bad we want this kid. But I can't see if Brady says to you, this guy goes to Davis says, this guy's the next big thing. We're not giving anything to you guys. You're not getting rid of him. And then you guys, you absolutely got to update. There's a lot of free agents out there, JT. I was the Raiders with the cap space.
They got the 3rd or 2nd in the league. Thanks, Mikey. Thanks for the stock market update, too, on text. Appreciate you. Mike in Staten, Italy. Raiders got plenty of money. Over $100 million. They're going to get 2 offensive linemen, I hope, in free agency along with Mendoza. That's cool. That's going to be a pretty cool off season for the Raiders, but we went through hell this year because we only won 3 games, and the last game was at least against Kansas City to end a bunch of streaks. So that's where we're at. We want to finish the first hour and thank Virgin Hotels. Man, I love the restaurants at Virgin. I really do. One Steakhouse with the great John O'Donnell, Cassie Beach House, Nobu. My wife and I love to go to Nobu. We walk into Nobu. We sit at the bar. We love Nobu. And just everything, the service, Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas.
Birthdays to business meetings, or just because. Craze makes every moment delicious.
I'll be right back because I just worked a full hour. Right? I was an hour of work. I'm going to go hydrate. I finished my Dutch Brothers. I need some water here. I finished my Dutch Brothers, so I need more hydration.
Coming up next. Hold on. All right, CVG, you're coming up next. Derek, please.
Gig is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun with always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly. This is JT for the local 872, proud partners of Raider Nation Radio, led by Tommy White, building the city on time and on budget. Go to local872.com to find out about apprenticeships, career paths, all the public work zones, and the schedules that are happening here in our valley. I'm proud to be associated with the 872, proud partners of my show and Raider Nation Radio.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. If you've been in a motorcycle accident, remember, it's not about the injury, it's about the recovery. Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law. You know, motorcycle accidents can be complex, and that's when you need an attorney that understands the unique challenges of a motorcycle accident case. At Paul Pata Law, we'll guide you through the journey of recovering, physically, emotionally, and financially. Check us out at paulpatalaw.com or call us at 702-707-3000.
The Vegas Golden Knights are rolling through another epic season. Grab an ice cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Knights on the ice. It's not seltzer, it's Surfside, official partner of the Vegas Golden Knights. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly. Open a Clark County Credit Union high-yield bonus checking account and earn one of the highest rates available just for using your checking account. Plus, bonus checking offers peace of mind, unrivaled security, and smart savings. There are so many benefits to banking at CCCU. Isn't it about time you became a member? Open a bonus checking account today and start earning more interest. Because if somebody's making money off your checking account, shouldn't it be you? Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
When it's time for a new AC and heating unit, don't just call anyone, call the boss. Maybe you have some plumbing projects around the house. Well, you need to call the boss. Boss Plumbing and HVAC is family owned and operated, serving Southern Nevada since 2015.
Okay, we are back. We are back. Yes, we are back.
AC repairs to leaky pipe, installations to tuning up your AC and heater.
It's nice that we have this little stream going for a couple hours. 469 here total. Bunch from YouTube. We got some from Twitter today. No Facebook. When I hit the Facebook button, we get a lot of people. Man, we get a lot of people when we go Facebook.
Iceberg, cheesesteak, Polish sausage, and much more is dynamite. Golden Circle Sports Bar's happy hour is amazing with $5 draft beers every day from 10 to 6 p. Treasure Island, the Vegas destination for those seeking a contemporary resort experience with an ideal location on the Las Vegas Strip. And remember, parking is always free. Never miss another show. Stream us live or listen to past podcasts 24/7 at LVSportsNetwork.com. This is Raider Nation Radio 920 AM, KRLP Las Vegas. It's the JT the Brick Show. You know, obviously it means a lot to me being a part of the Silver and Black alone. You know, the history, I've said it a million times. I feel like I was meant to be a Raider. I love being here. Your Silver and Black home to sound off for over 25 years. It's amazing, opportunity, great community here, and a great fan base. So I'm expecting a lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of great time.
It's going to be all about competition. I mean, there's going to be no easy games in our nation. And now here's JT the Brick.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2. Q Myers coming up at the top of the hour. Make sure you listen to Q's show, our entire lineup. We are congratulating Vinny Bonsignore about a new opportunity he's getting with the California Post. He put that out on X. Congratulations to Vinny Bonsignore. Great opportunity. I always like when our teammates get great opportunities here. More the merrier. Love that. Hope everybody's doing well today. So the big topic, as we know, the big topic is the fact that we are dealing with Mike Tomlin's availability. That's a big topic. So as we look at that, you have to have an opinion on that. I said you must have an opportunity and an opinion on that. You can't just walk through Raider Nation and walk around Raider Nation and someone stops you and says, hey, what do you think of Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh? You got to have an answer. I'll give you mine first. Mike Tomlin, you got to get in the trade. So you got to give up something. I wouldn't do that probably. I don't know, but Mike Tomlin would be a tremendous name to bring into this organization. Tremendous name. So that'd be big. John Harbaugh, you have to talk to him. You have to talk to John Harbaugh. You have to get in front of John Harbaugh. I'm not saying 100% you got to offer him the job, but you got to blow him away with a tour of the Raiders' global world-class facility. Clay Baker, wouldn't you agree that it would be worth John Harbaugh getting picked up by an SUV at the Henderson private jet, which you could walk from Henderson private jet across?
Yeah, you can take a little golf cart.
You can take a golf cart, but to bring him in there and let him see Raider Nation from the inside and out?
Because it's one of the high quality facilities in the NFL, but at the same time, it's where you spend all your time. It's where you work. That's where you go to work every day. And that is one of the best preeminent facilities in the nation. You have to go and be a part of it because many people fell in love with it.
Yep, no doubt about it. The breaking news from Adam Schefter today, the Eagles fired their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo. He is out because that's what Philadelphia does. They blame everyone. They just fire people and blame everyone. They just do it. So the Eagles firing their offensive coordinator is not a surprise. Well, Bills wide receiver Tyrell Shavers has torn his ACL. Oh, my God. The Bills lose another wide receiver. I believe that's 4 wide receivers, 4 that are gone for the Bills. How are the Bills going to survive without these wide receivers? I don't know. That's brutal, as Adam Schefter put out there. Kyle Shanahan has announced that George Kittle will have surgery tomorrow. George Kittle blew out his ACL. And here is the statement from Mike Tomlin. I think everybody needs to hear this. This is from Mike Tomlin. After much thought and reflection, I've decided to step down as head coach of the Steelers. This organization has been a huge part of my life for many years, and it's been an absolute honor to lead this team. I'm deeply grateful to Art Rooney II and the late Ambassador Rooney for their trust and support. And I'm also thankful to the players who gave me everything they had every day, and to the coaches and staffs whose commitment and dedication made this journey so meaningful. And I also want to thank Steeler Nation. Your passion, loyalty, high expectations represent what makes this franchise truly special. And he talked about coaching Pittsburgh is unlike anywhere else. And I will always take great pride in having been a steward of this team. While this chapter comes to a close, my respect and love for the Pittsburgh Steelers will never change. I'm excited for what the future holds for this organization. I will forever be grateful for my time coaching Pittsburgh. What a classy statement by Mike Tomlin. So Mike Tomlin is out. And heading into the start of the season, Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh were the NFL's 2 longest tenured head coaches. That now belongs to Andy Reid. Andy Reid is the longest tenured head coach in this league. So a lot of news today. A lot of big news today. Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport and everybody talking about that. We'll have Yogi Roth, a great personnel guy. The work that he does at the Senior Bowl is second to none. Let's get out to Irvin Henderson on 920 here in Vegas. Hello, Irv.
Hey, JT. Hey, Clay. Thanks for taking my call. I'm going to follow the mission, what you asked, JT. 1, I need Mike Tomlin like Las Vegas needs rain. Pittsburgh fans did not appreciate Mike Tomlin, so please come here. We need you. Over John Harbaugh strictly because of age. Yes, Laps Mendoza. Take him. Let the number 1 pick go for next year for Tomlin as compensation. And get Mendoza, get some free agents to protect his backside. If your name doesn't have 2 X's in it, if you're not Ashton Dempsey, if you're not on a rookie contract and you don't want to be here, bye-bye with you. Raider Nation, look, I have been Raider Nation since 1972. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. We need stability here. I'm tired of buying coaches all the time. Sick of it. So we're going to get Mendoza unless somebody offers us the Herschel Walker trade and offers us a boatload of picks. Want to hear what you have to say about my take, JT?
Yeah, I like that. I like everything you said there. I mean, you said a lot of good points here overall. You mentioned at the end the Herschel Walker trade. Would a Herschel Walker? Here's the problem I have with trading picks. And I put it out there yesterday, and there was a bit of confusion. We don't pick very good. We don't pick very good. So if you give me picks, and we pick Clee Farrell, and we pick Tyree Wilson, and we pick Alex Leatherwood, and we pick Damon Arnett, and we pick Jonathan Abram. The last time, Clay Baker, we had 3 first-round picks. We took Clee Farrell, Jonathan Abram, and Josh Jacobs.
Those
Right?
aren't the Gil Brandt moves.
Right.
Yeah.
We had 3 first-round picks. I emceed the party at the time with Marcel Reese and Nicole Zalumis. Let's go back in the day at Dre's. I know there's some changes at Dre's. And I remember that party. And I'm sitting there, wow, the Raiders have 3 first-round picks. I'll never forget this story. It's a true story. It's true as the sun coming up today. Is that I was backstage and the Raiders picked Clee Farrell at 4. Now, remember this. Everybody knows who's getting drafted in the top 5. Everybody. Literally, people were running up to me. JT, help us. Do you know who this guy is? Swear to God. Because the people backstage were not experts on draft picks, nor should they have been. And I said, yeah, I got this. He was the captain of Clemson's national championship defense. Did anybody watch Clemson win the national championship other than me? Remember Hunter Renfrow and the team that had Deshaun Watson and eventually Trevor Lawrence? I'm like, yeah, I watch football. I know who he is. Well, how do you pronounce his name? I said, I think it's Cleveland Farrell. Got that right. No one in the building knew. Not one person at Dre's. Not one person at Dre's knows who he was. That's the history we have in Vegas drafting players. Clee Farrell's still playing okay. He's playing better than Tyree Wilson. I'll tell you that much. Then we took Tyree Wilson. I was like, oh boy, what are we doing with that? He's in a boot or something. He's on stage, but he's injured. What are we doing there? And I love Dave Ziegler. I only have good things to say about Dave Ziegler, but I thought that was a bit of a reach. Come on. Damon Arnett. Did you see when he showed up at his press conference, that guy? Huh. Damon Arnett? Who the hell made that pick? A really good guy, I think. Mike Mayock, right? Good guy. I think the world of Mike. Love to have him on the show. We vetted Damon Arnett? Like we sat down in front of Damon Arnett and didn't think he was an idiot? Just a dope? We didn't think that Damon Arnett, after sitting down with him, who would have thought that Damon Arnett was capable of working into an organization? How'd that work out? We're not going to do that anymore. We got Tom Brady and John Spytek. No guarantees. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to take the best players. For an organization that has just taken Clee Farrell, Jonathan Abram, Damon Arnett, and Henry Ruggs, I think we're due for Mendoza. I think we're due for a layup. I think we're due for an easy one. Let's go do that one and tell me how that works out. And if it doesn't work out, you know where to find me. I'm right here. If it doesn't work out, but I think most of the Raider Nation believe that that will be the choice. That will be the choice. As of today, it will be the choice. But can things change? Of course. Stevie G in the town, Oaktown.
What's up? What's up, JT? Happy New Year.
You too.
This is the beginning of the year, and on the clock, and they're doing their thing. They're going to prepare. I like Spytek. I like Tom Brady. I think Mark Davis, I think he got put off kilter. Obviously, everybody in the Raider Nation was when Gruden was out, because his dream team really was Reggie McKenzie and John Gruden. Obviously, Reggie and Gruden didn't work it out, so we moved on to Mayock. But the organization was there. He had what he wanted, Mark Davis. And then that got put out, and then I think he was a little bit off kilter again. I think now that he has Brady and he has Spytek, I think he's back on stabilizing what's happening. I think Spytek's there for like 5+ years, whatever that means, for a long-term contract. And then I think that they're going to pick Mendoza, and I wouldn't trade him for just about anything, unless you talk about Joe Burrow healthy and maybe one of those top free agent linemen that comes with him. I mean, legitimate players coming with them, not just the draft pick. Because I agree with you. We've gone through that enough time. We need, fair compensation for fair compensation, not a guess. In any draft choice, the guess, right? And so we're going to go with the best guess possible, which is Mendoza coming into the league as the number 1 overall draft pick, and he's ours until we say different, nobody else. So I'm looking for that to be the case. I'm looking for them to get the offensive line together with some free agents. To me, even though people haven't talked about it a lot, I think the fact that the 2 young linemen, even though they played in the last quarter of the year, they played well enough to have belief that this is the right track. So you get yourself a solid offensive lineman to partner with the young, a quarter, QB mind. I'm a huge Mike Tomlin guy. I really love him. I love Harbaugh too, but I'm a huge Mike Tomlin guy, and I would like to see. I do like the Raiders with defensive mindset partnered with the young, energetic offensive line. Offensive line to just partner up and do their thing. And I think also, whether it's Mike Tomlin or a John Harbaugh, they develop their staff. They prepare these guys to go on and be something different. Just look at their tree. So I'm looking for some seasoned experience as I think we're growing in the management side. And then I think with the seasoned coaching as the CEO, I think that's the Raiders taking off. Have a good one.
That's a great phone call, man. Wait around all day for that. I wait around all day for phone calls like that. Very well thought out. Fantastic phone call. I retweeted a video today of Nate Shellhouse, who is on the staff of Sean McVay. Okay, he's an offensive assistant coach who the Raiders are interviewing or have interviewed. So I retweeted that, and it really is a great video about the tree of Kyle Shanahan. The tree of Kyle Shanahan and what he did with Sean McVay and Zach Taylor. So very interesting story to connect the dots for those who want to listen up to this. Bruce Allen, who hired me, who's the former GM, the senior assistant of Al Davis, helped build the Super Bowl roster. We went to the Super Bowl with Bruce Allen's team. And then he got run out of Washington because he had a lunatic, psycho owner. Did a nice job in Tampa, too. When Bruce was in Washington, on his staff, hired by Bruce Allen, not hired by Daniel Snyder, hired by Bruce Allen, Bruce went out and hired Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, and a guy by the name of Mike McDaniel. They're all on Bruce's staff, came to Bruce's home for his Christmas party. Picture of all 4 of them. That's how you build the tree. You build those guys, and then they all go out, and they, boom, go out and get head coaching jobs, and they hire people under the same philosophy, and you got a great tree. I studied coaching trees. I got a chance to meet Bill Walsh. I was lucky enough to work for Al Davis. Okay, I knew Jim Brown really well, and he talked to me about coaching trees. The Raiders do not have a coaching tree here now. We don't. We have no coaching tree. We had one of the great coaches of the last 25 years in Pete Carroll. He decided to bring his sons. At the time, you want to hire your sons. I get it. I get it. It happens. It happens all around the league. That was a mistake. There were highly qualified coaches, better for the offensive line, and the offensive line was a disaster, an epic disaster. I don't know what Pete Carroll would do if he could get the job all over again. If he wants another job, I'm sure someone's going to interview him and say, Pete, would you hire your sons again? I don't know what his answer would be. So coaching trees matter. That's why if the Raiders hire John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin, they know they'll have a coaching tree in their building of guys who have been highly successful and have good coaches to bring in. If you go hire Clint Kubiak, who I think is a really good, high probability, then all of a sudden Clint Kubiak gets to build his staff. Who's he going to hire? Well, he's going to try to take people away from the Seattle staff and the Denver staff and the San Francisco staff, and maybe 1 or 2 of those guys will come. That's how complicated this is. That's how complicated this is. These are really big decisions that are going to be made by Tom Brady and John Spytek. And if I'm saying it here on the radio, what do you think they're saying in the building? They know this. I'm just telling you what I know, just from being around football for 30 years and 50 years as a fan. Here's Jay Glazer. Jay Glazer, friend of the show, go back with Jay as long as everybody. We worked together for many years. Jay Glazer on the allure of Tom Brady.
So the most attractive head coaching openings. Now, this is what candidates tell me they're looking for. Number one, you're looking for a quarterback. So if you're looking for a quarterback, obviously Lamar Jackson. Then you're looking for, okay, how's the general manager? How's my partner? What's the structure going to be? Then it's ownership. Who's not going to meddle? A lot of these teams, their owners don't meddle. As far as the most attractive, if you're asking me, guess what, Vegas? What am I talking about? I can work with Tom. Yeah, I'd have to go probably Vegas because of Tom.
All right. He said he put the number one job at Vegas because of Tom Brady. That's Jay Glazer. He knows more people than maybe anybody. Really does. So wanted to give you that. We got great sound today, courtesy of Clay. Great sound up and down the dial here. You don't find sound like this on other shows. You don't. Me and Clay at night, we text each other. We get sound bites. Say, use it for the show. I need to take a breath. We need to play a piece of sound. Those are great sound bites. Kind of frames what we want to talk about with you. Good to go up to Portland. Robert in Portland. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
Hey, JT, I just this decision is going to be monumental. We haven't. I mean, I remember your days in Napa. You know, Mustard's Grill and all those days. Guy Fieri feeding the Raiders. I would love to just bring back someone that will create the same thing in the Vegas area. And you're the man to do it. I just want a guy who'll be so proud of for the next 5 years as coaching this team. We have to literally turn on a dime and start drafting well, like we just decided. We don't do very well, and we just need a change that will make everybody happy.
Well, didn't we have wait? Didn't we have that with Pete Carroll? We brought a legend in, a legend in coaching and preparation and winning in a culture, and we had the worst season we had since 1961.
You just said a minute ago that Tomlin is younger than Harbaugh. Okay, so I agree with you. We all got excited about Pete, and Pete didn't diagnose the offensive line problem.
Yeah.
And he should have. So I agree with that. I just think that we need to, when Ron Wolf was a personnel guy that Al Davis depended on, and Ken Hurrock, you remember them all from the early days when you were with the Raiders. We need to just build it again so we don't have to change it constantly. And I just don't know who that guy is. I thought it was going to be the young kid out of Detroit last year who chose to go to the Bears. If we'd had this draft choice opportunity last year, he may have gone to Vegas. But I don't think Kubiak is the answer. I know you do. You favor him so far over the other choices, but I just think we need, Tomlin he wants to go to a warmer climate, okay? And, it would cost us a draft choice, but look what Tampa Bay did with Gruden when they gave Allen a draft choice. That turned out to be pretty good for Tampa Bay. I just think we need to do something that's going to ignite the whole franchise again so we can go back to the days, and I know I'm sounding like an idiot, go back to the days when you loved it and I loved it at Ricky's and every other thing, and most importantly, I loved going to Napa to watch the workouts. I love that town.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to hire Tomlin or Harbaugh? I want to get clarity from you. If you were making the call under Mark Davis today, who would you hire?
I would go for Tomlin, and I'd give him 10 years.
10?
Yeah, I'd do it all over again like we did with Gruden. Who's going to turn him in, like they did with Gruden? Who in the NFL hates Tomlin? Nobody, and he's the most articulate guy I know when he's listen to his post game. I mean, the guy he's terrific. I mean, and so just give the Steelers a choice. But everybody would love that, and he knows how to get the right assistants to work for him. He's had a hell of a run in Pittsburgh. I admit that, and probably tired of coaching football. But if you throw an opportunity at him that he and his family would love, and Vegas is a great town. We need to do something like we did in the old days. Al knew how to do it. He had the right guys in Barack and Wolf and those guys.
Yeah.
He rarely made mistakes until later in his life.
Good call. Excellent phone call, Robert. Really good. Very passionate. Very energetic, outstanding phone call. He said, get Tomlin on a 10-year deal and trade for him. Just do it. Set the team up for a decade in Vegas. Set the team up. 10 years, that's a bit much for me. 5-year deal? Sure. John Harbaugh, 5-year deal? Sure. I thought Pete Carroll had there's not one person in the world who didn't think Pete Carroll was a candidate for any job he wanted. Any job. Happened to be he took the Raider job. Be a candidate for any job. So with these other guys, that's what they have in common with Pete Carroll. But we just did Pete Carroll. So I can understand it. It's not easy. And I'm not leaning towards Kubiak. I like Kubiak if he gets the job because I like everything that he stands for. Young, offensive play caller with the first pick overall, Mendoza. I'm good with that. I don't know how good of a head coach he's going to be. No idea. Zero. No idea. But I like that he checks those boxes. Yogi Roth's going to join us coming up next. What a college football insider. One of the best I know. I've been interviewing him for a long time. He'll join us on the other side. If you're into Mendoza, you do not want to miss this conversation. He'll tell you what the Raiders should look for at quarterback, but it's a national interview, so I'm going to play it tonight, and we'll go around the NIL world. We'll talk about some of the issues that we're seeing in college football, the 12 playoff compared to the 16. All of that is coming up. I told you I went to Tomorrow Aesthetics for Men yesterday. It's right there off Sahara in Fort Apache. Please go check it out. TMRW, Aesthetics for Men. You can find it just talking to your phone, and you'll see the site. You can go there for anything you need. You could be a guy that needs better hair. You could want a hydrofacial. You can need Botox if you're into that. If you want to lose weight. Everything they have there is for men. It's a men's spa. But you got to go. Because if you don't go there and get a tour, walk around, you won't see how cool it is. That's Tomorrow Aesthetics for Men. Proud partner of the show, Yogi Roth on the other side. We'll see what he has to say about Mendoza. Loving this Mendoza conversation. Normally, before Super Bowl, it's all about Super Bowl Radio Row and the playoffs. Not this year. Raiders need a head coach and they need a quarterback. All right, man. We'll go one more here. We're already 126 in. But we'll go one more with Yogi Roth because I think people want to see this one, and then we'll be done for the day.
That you don't have enough confidence in yourself that you're going to get the quarterback in place, that do right by that quarterback from a coaching standpoint, from an infrastructure standpoint, from a personnel standpoint. If that's what scares you, then get out. Go take another job.
The Morning Tailgate, weekdays at 7 a.m.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive casino partner of Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly. Hey, it's JT. Grimaldi's is hands down my favorite pizza in Vegas. Only at Grimaldi's can you get their famous New York style coal-fired brick oven pizza. Grimaldi's has 4 locations.
What's going on, Chad? Kubiak. Yeah, I gotta maybe tone it down a little bit on Kubiak. I'm not banging the drum on Kubiak. I like Kubiak. I'm not banging the drum. Because I know that the opportunity to get Kubiak's probably less than 50%, maybe a little bit more. So, again, I like the guy. I'll stand by that.
To get the cash you need now. So visit lendingstore.com today for details. See website for details. Lending Store is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
This is JT for the Hall of Excellence Sports Museum at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. At the Hall of Excellence, sports legends live on through iconic artifacts. See Jackie Robinson's period Breaking Bad, 7 of Tom Brady's championship rings, and so much more. Each piece tells a story of greatness and game-changing moments. Experience the history. Get your tickets now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com.
The Vegas Golden Knights are rolling through another epic season. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Knights on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. So it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not seltzer, it's Surfside, official partner of the Vegas Golden Knights. Sold in arena and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Gambler's bonus hits again. On October 15th, Robert hit 4 nines, clearing his bingo card for almost $1,000. Robert hit big and so can you. With Gambler's bonus, it's why you play the game.
Australia's biggest park hits Vegas. Las Vegas, Saturday, February 28th at Allegiant Stadium. 3 games, Aussie Fives, 1 epic ticket. Plug in your seat now at nrl.com/Vegas. Rugby League, Las Vegas. Let's go.
You won't believe everything I just saw. I went to Disneyland, and it was the 70th celebration. First, I went to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, and I danced with Goofy. I even got Dad to do the hot dog dance. He's not bad, actually. At night, I saw this parade. Everything was glowing. There were all these lights and colors. Sorcerer Mickey was there, and Lightning McQueen. Oh, then I went to this giant blow show with all the Inside Out.
Thanks for the coat, man. This is a coat I pulled out. Kind of a little leather coat, man. I haven't worn it in a while. Fits good. The 10-year-old coat, man. Nice coat.
Time. 70th celebration.
Collar up here, man.
Night parade returning January
San
15th.
Francisco.
World
Right?
of Color Happiness. And with Bluey and Bingo coming soon. Happiness is everywhere. The Disneyland Resort.
One of the nice coats or things I have left that my sons haven't taken from me and put it in their stuff.
Letting you know about Silver Sevens keeping the hockey excitement alive all January long. Saturday night at Silver Sevens Hotel and Casino with their $15,000 face-off drawing. Every 30 minutes, your name will be called to step up and face off. Pick heads or tails, then throw a puck. And you can win $250 or $500 in free slot play. Located just 1 mile east of the Las Vegas Strip, Silver Sevens is known for classic values, easy wins, slots, table games, and a lively sports book. Don't miss the action.
Open a Clark County Credit Union high-yield bonus checking account and earn one of the highest rates available just for using your checking account. Plus, bonus checking offers peace of mind, unrivaled security, and smart savings. There are so many benefits to banking at CCCU. Isn't it about time you became a member? Open a bonus checking account today and start earning more interest. Because if somebody's making money off your checking account, shouldn't it be you? Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance. Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show. Brought to you by Comisario Tequila, the official tequila of the JT the Brick Show.
He lines up as an H-back to the right. Here's the snap back and the throw. Fernando goes to the end zone. Touchdown! Omar Cooper comes up with another brilliant play, and the throw by Fernando Mendoza was dead on the money.
I would say I've came a long way from, being here in January, being game one. Game one, I threw 0 touchdown passes. I was trying to be Superman, and then the coaching staff settled me down. It's like, hey, you don't got to be Superman. We have a great defense and a great superstars, playmakers, and offensive line on offense. So just do your job. So my job is to be effective with making, really accurate balls and really great decisions. And that's what I pride myself on every single play. And so I'm glad those results have came. However, none of that matters. All that matters right now is the national championship.
Yeah, that's Mendoza. We're here in Vegas, and the Raiders have the number 1 pick. Sure looks like a lock, if there's ever been a lock. I'm always thrilled when I get a chance to talk to Yogi Roth, a college football analyst for the Big Ten Network, and he does everything. He's a broadcaster, podcaster, filmmaker, speaker, motivational moderator, author. Yogi, good to talk to you again. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
Doing well, yeah, man. Enjoyed hearing your voice all season long, man. So hope you're well as well. Happy New Year, and wow to see where we're at here, NFL, and of course, to your point, Indiana. One of the greatest stories, if not the best story, I think, in my college football lifetime, man. Watching this thing all from where it was 2 years ago to now.
Well, tell me why, because you've touched every level of that sport, and you're very up to date from quarterbacks to everything you've done in the past and you're currently doing. What is so great about Mendoza compared to other quarterbacks who've won the Heisman or other high-profile quarterbacks that didn't make it in the NFL or struggled? What do you like from what you see on tape and see them live?
Well, I think there's a lot of layers to that, as you know. I mean, the position's so hard to figure out. It's why we see players make it and don't, and there's so many things that go into it. Fit, system, where you're at in your own life, your own maturity, how you can handle money, negativity, criticism. I mean, there's a lot that every quarterback has to go through in their personal path. Fernando, I can remember meeting him like it was yesterday. You remember the name Bill Musgrave, and some of your listeners may. Mike, who played in Oregon and then played in the NFL and coached all over. He was the one that found him. Justin Wilcox staff at Cal at the time. He was no offers other than out of the Ivy League. He was on his way to Yale. Everybody knows the story probably by now. And gave him a chance. And I went to visit Cal that spring after Fernando got there. And I remember watching him spin it. And he wasn't even in the conversation at that position. And I remember going to Justin Wilcox saying, who is the corner? And he's like, this kid out of Miami, we think he's got a chance, kind of under the radar. And then a year later, he was starting. And you go and you meet him because you're calling their games and production meetings, and it's, hello, Mr. Roth, hello, Mr. Ted Robinson. Like, it was almost like, whoa, what's this guy's different. And he's quirky, and I think it's why he's a great fit with Chris Ignetti. But when you dig in deeper, he's got a drive to him that is unique. And I think every quarterback we've talked enough to know, like, you have to have a unique trait. And that's it. And it's not loud like David Goggins' drive, right? But it's more like Tom Brady's drive. I mean, when I met him, Tom Brady was his screensaver on his phone when he was a second-year player at Cal. And he modeled his life after him, overlooked, undervalued, but you just go to work. You don't complain. You don't, reflect. You're not like trying to blame other people. You just go to work and try to prove yourself right. And he's had that maturity. And I think when he arrived in Bloomington, he wanted to take his skill set and refine it. And that's why I think Kurt Ignetti's the top coach in college football right now. He's an elite CEO. Like Shanahan, their offensive coordinator, is big time. And he's just continued to lean into that. This guy's development is next level. And think about it, his college career, 3 years, he's had 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 different systems. And look what he just did in his most recent 15-game run. Man, it's been awesome.
Yogi Roth is our guest. So we've been doing this a long time, both of us. There's going to be some criticism because other teams are going to want to devalue that pick, get it away from the Raiders, trade for the pick. Other people are going to say it's just too much. 3 first-round picks in a trade probably won't happen. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. What makes you believe, and I love what you said about the Brady mentality, is there a weakness to his game in his progressions? I heard someone say the other day, ball comes out quick to his first progression. Well, if the first progression's open, he's going to hit the open receiver, but it can't be all perfect. What do you think he has to work on if he's going to go number 1 overall?
Well, nobody's perfect. I mean, like, think of the perfect prospect. Who was it? John Elway and Peyton Manning, or
Andrew Luck?
You could Andrew Luck. I mean, Trevor Lawrence. Like, I've seen all these guys for 25 years. You've seen them for longer than that. It's hard. You could argue that of all those guys, they all don't pan out, and some of them do. And the Raiders are going to be blunt. Like, it's a dysfunction of an organization in the last handful of decades, as we've seen. It's hard to argue that. So part of it is where you go. I think that's one thing. I think when you're talking about Fernando, he's not Lamar Jackson with his legs, and he's not. I'm trying to think like the greatest pocket. Like he doesn't spin it like the most elite. He's not John Elway in terms of the hose that he has. But is he capable of driving an NFL quarterback? Yeah, you're damn right. I come at this thing sometimes where, like, if I'm rebuilding a team, I don't always think the best answer is to draft a quarterback and just start from there. I think there's so many instances where that is not the answer. Like if you looked at the top 5, 10 picks in the draft that we would project and said, all right, who's got the best chance of being a 10-time Pro Bowler? I'd say tail it down. Now, I get it. Like, who wants to take him 1? But he'll go 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so I think I don't know what John Spytek and company and obviously Tom Brady will have a big influence on if they think they have to go QB, and if they do, I think Fernando will be an incredible addition to that franchise. But they also got a lot of questions and that they need to answer there clearly. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I think Fernando will be an absolute pro where he goes. Guys will fall in love with him. He's mature enough where he doesn't have to try to be somebody else. He's got a great focus about him. He's dealt with negativity because he felt it coming out of Cal. He's dealt with highs of the Heisman. I was in New York with him and watching him manage it. not only was impressive, but watching his teammates fly and surprise him there was probably the thrill of my career covering the Heisman for 14 years now. Never seen that before. Never seen teammates fly themselves. They were waiting for him at the press conference with me, and he walked through the door, and they boss pitted him. Like, they jumped all over him. It was like, this is how he's used by his teammates. It was as good of an example as you'd want of a guy able to connect with other people from various parts of the world. I mean, that's Fernando. So he can win it. He's smart. He's got the size. He's got the strength. Got the acumen. Because we know, like, you better have a left tackle.
Right.
You better have a run game. Like, you better have a defense. Or I don't give it. You rip who you sign or who you draft. Like, you're going to struggle, and that's just a fact. So I think for number one, the Raiders know they've got to address a ton, and I hope they do. I hope they win. That'd be great.
Yogi Roth, we'll do some quick bullet points here with all these other players and topics I want to get to. Carson Beck throwing the ball to Brock Bowers, a two-time Mackey Award winner, then transferring and playing in the national championship in a home national championship and tucking and running for a game-winning touchdown was pretty impressive. I mean, what's his comp, in your opinion, overall? Because emotionally, he's been battle-tested. He's gotten a lot of criticism from leaving Georgia, and it hasn't been that easy at Miami, but he's finding success. What do you think of his skill set?
I'm so happy for him. I mean, I meet all these guys in the summer. It's called the Elite 11. It's a quarterback camp I've been a part of for 20 years. So I remember meeting Carson and look at some of the guys in his class, and they're 2-year starters in the NFL. He's been around college for 7 years. So to your point, he's seen a lot. I think there is something to the maturity that he had to navigate at Miami, whether it's his personal life, off the field, a lot of things. Like, he's kind of dealt with the professional mindset, which I think a lot of these guys in this new era of college football have had to do without a blueprint. Right? There wasn't somebody that they looked at who's done it before. Carson kind of has been doing it on he's one of the first guys, high price, high expectations. And to watch him and their OC, Shannon Dawson, really dial it up the last few games against Ohio State and Ole Miss, for me, it's solidified. Like, yeah, he's a premium prospect. Is your first round pick? I don't know. I mean, the quarterback depth in this year's classes, we know what it is. But he'd be intriguing. I think his arm strength and coming back off that injury is going to be something that'll probably be talked about a lot of driving it down the field. But intermediate game, at least the last time out, was as good as we've seen in the CFP. Touch passes, got to have it. Game-winning drive, discernment, decision-making, looking off, mid-tier defenders like overhang linebackers and safeties drop into the box was exactly what to do at the next level. So he'll definitely find his way to a team. Where, I don't know yet. I think we got to let that thing shake out. And I think the Dante Moore decision, unless it's happened in the last couple hours, I think is going to weigh a lot on how this draft is eventually viewed.
Yogi Roth, as we wrap it up, a guy who does a tremendous amount of work in a lot of different spaces. We'll promote what he's doing here at the end. I want to ask you a personal question. I have a son who's a young, aspiring NIL agent, and he's working hard and, in the portal and doing all this. And I just don't like the lack of loyalty at all in college football. I know coaches can leave, and they leave for money, and they're adults. Come on, Yogi. Guys who are playing in 4 different programs in 4 years. If that's happening now, what is this going to look like 6, 7, 10 years from now? I think you got to teach loyalty to kids coming out of high school when they're in college, because most of them are never going to play on Sunday. They're going to get real jobs, if it's from Wall Street to Sand Hill Road, or they're going to want to get a job where they're going to have to be loyal to their boss and their family. What does the future landscape of college football look like with the NIL and everybody just checking out and wanting to switch teams?
Well, I think you're spot on. I think the advice I'd have for your son, and if I was talking to any agent in this era representing college quarterbacks, college athletes, is it's kind of like my kid, right? Like, I've got a 10 and a 5-year-old. And, we talk about this all the time. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to give you an iPhone. I'm not going to give you an Apple Watch because you're not ready for a computer on your wrist. You're not ready for it. Like, your operating system is nowhere clear than ready for that. And I say the same thing for these players in college. Much like a musician or an actor or an artist, like, these young rock stars are not ready for what world they're living in, but they have to deal with it. So I always say, what tools can you offer them? That's why I love the Elite 11 so much. We do heavy financial literacy. Okay, you just signed for $200,000 at said school or $500,000 at said school. Can you put away 20% so at 35 you can buy a house? don't buy the Mercedes. I got the phone with a coach earlier today. He's like, I can't believe this kid. We just paid him. First thing he did was Mercedes. And that's like all his money. Like, I think the mistakes are going to happen, but can we offer them tools? In addition to that, and I believe this, and I say this to all the quarterbacks that I talk to, you want to go get in the portal and bounce around, that's fine. That's your decision. But you have to get the clarity around what matters most. And if what matters most to you is making money, or if what matters most to you is throwing for 3,500 yards, you have to define that. And you have to state it and own it with confidence and then operate with discipline. And that's the challenge that I think all these players have to navigate. And I think agents, you'd be well-versed to ask them that question. I just talked to a quarterback a couple hours ago. Hey, man, he's trying to find a new home. What matters most to you? Is it playing? Then you'll go to a new-look Pac-12 school. Is it playing in front of 100,000 people and getting paid? Okay, then I get it. You want to go to the SEC, but you're probably not going to play. So what matters most to you? And then can you own it with confidence and then to be disciplined around it? And then I think the last part, which is the status for me, is that we've got these players at all these schools making all this money. But if you dip out, let me tell you who's going to be out on you immediately, is that alumni base that you signed with. And the new place you go to, and I always felt this with Jordan Addison, who went to where I went, Pitt, won a Blitnikoff, beloved, the man, and then came to USC for 6 months. And I hope he plays for 10, 15 years in the NFL. But I'm curious, like, when it's all said and done, what's home? And what is home doing for you? He spent 6 months at SC, was a first-round pick, but he's not in the first sentence when you mention, give me a USC receiver. He's not even in the second sentence or the third sentence. So where is his loyalty? And then who's going to help him invest in his business, invest in the idea that he has, get him a job if he falls on hard times? Like, that's the part that I think is sadly eroding around the world that we live in today.
Tell me about Y Option, what you're doing with the newsletter and the podcast. Great work.
Yeah, it's fun. We got a nice community of people. You can check it out at yoption.com. And really, it's, to me, a vehicle to be thoughtful and insightful in college football and create a community around it. And it's been awesome. Just had Bruce Feldman on earlier today, previewing the national title. He went to Miami. So it's fun conversations. And I take out a weekly newsletter. It's really my thoughts around the game and things that I'm seeing around the country. So it's something I've enjoyed doing over the last couple of years since I joined the Big Ten and covering that league. And now I'm really spanning the country in a bunch of ways. So trying to just have a hub and a home for a lot of my thoughts that hopefully people find a little insightful. I'm not going to scream and yell. I try to be calm and discerning. But I think that's what the sport needs because it's been so up and down recently.
Great talking to you, Yogi. Hope to see you on Radio Row up at Super Bowl when I'm up there. Thanks so much for your time.
You got to come on, okay? We'll get you on the pod.
You got it. Yogi Roth, fantastic interview. I don't want to say you're never going to hear an interview like that because he did all the work. You're not going to hear much more knowledge on Mendoza than that guy, period. He was with them at Cal. Did you hear that interview on Mendoza? Podcast that. That was exceptional. He was there. He watched him. He went to the first meetings with Mendoza at Cal. Say, hello, Mr. Roth. He knew him from Elite 11, and he wasn't even in that category of being an Elite 11 type quarterback. Now he's going to probably be the number one pick in the draft and the franchise quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. And Clay, all that Brady stuff and how Brady was his screensaver was Tom Brady on his phone. I didn't know that. All right, we'll wrap it up on the other side. Brilliant execution today by those who participated. I just ran it and kind of try to keep everybody here with us. Nice job with the interviews and the calls today. Feel really good about this. Catch me tonight, another 3 hours on Mad Dog Sports Radio, 8 to 11 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, everybody. Good job today, man. That was 148. 148. Nice job. Yes, Clay is the man. Thank you. See everybody tomorrow, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Vinny Bonsignor tomorrow. I think we'll have Levi Edwards or someone else. Oh, Chris Myers from the NFL on Fox. Chris Myers. We'll have Chris.
Any stretch of the imagination.